Good morning, American. It's Friday.
It's time for Mornings at 8 with Jonathan Mark on AM 1480 WLEA.
Oh, okay. In the first place, this morning, I got about 2 hours sleep. Okay? 2 hours sleep. Circumstances beyond my control. I had about 2 hours sleep. That's not good. And then I'm coming to work this morning. I'm at the bottom of Ashbaugh Hill, and I almost hit a turkey. So this turkey is right smack in the middle of the road, and his friend is standing on the side of the road, another turkey. So the turkey in the road didn't really feel like moving all that quickly. So I had to snake my way around this turkey. And I said, okay, fine. Okay, that's not good. I had 2 hours sleep. I almost hit a turkey. Fine, very good. Less than 10 seconds later, I'm driving up Ashbaugh Hill, and about halfway up, here comes a deer. But being an experienced Western New York driver, I know where you see one deer, that's right. So I let the first one pass, and I sat there. I stopped the car. And here comes another one, about a second or two behind it.
Sounds like out-of-towners here for Gus Macker.
You know, it could be. Maybe they were trying to find a motel or something. I have no idea. But, as I said, so then had I kept on going, I would have hit that second deer. And here we are. Okay, it's Friday. Paul Harvey knows. Paul Harvey always knows when it's Friday. Unmistakable. He knows when it's Friday. It is finally Friday. The end of a rather unusual news week. Yes, sir. But we can look forward to a bunch of stuff this weekend. And I hope the weather holds out. As you heard Rob Carolyn say, there is a chance of showers Saturday and Sunday, but it's a chance. It's only a chance, so you don't know. Maybe it won't rain. Who knows? It might hold off. So we have, let me see, in Hornell, it's Gus Macker Weekend Macker Madness, the 22nd annual Gus Macker 3-on-3 basketball tournament. Great basketball. These people really know how to play basketball. I mean, they really do. And I had Dan Galadio on yesterday, and if I recall, I think he mentioned that there are 17 or 18 courts set up. It's like a half-court thing. So, so they're still setting up, and there's a lot more work. An event like this takes a lot of volunteers. So, if you want to volunteer, and they need all kinds of help, I mean, right, it's a big event. So you can contact the Hornell Y. Contact them, or you can, what's their number? 5520, 324-5520 if you want to volunteer for the Gus Macker tournament. And also, that goes on Saturday and Sunday. His setup starts, technically started yesterday when they started assembling these basketball things there. Let me see. And then, of course, in Canisteo, we have the first of its kind here, Smoke in the Valley, and that will be on Saturday. And that starts, I believe, at 1 o'clock in the afternoon on Saturday. And I think it's going to end with fireworks, if I recall, at night. So, and lots in between that, we have, I think there are 27 barbecue teams lined up. So there's going to be a lot of major barbecuing at the Canisteo American Legion. So you can get some good food, okay? There's going to be events all day long for the entire family. There's going to be live bands. There's going to be food, drink, a cornhole tournament, horseshoe tournament. Let me see, booths manned by local cideries, breweries, and wineries. And things going on for the entire family. Plus, shuttle buses are going to be going back and forth between Canisteo and Hornell on Saturday. So you can watch a little basketball or play a little basketball and then go down to Canisteo and take part in Smoke in the Valley. And those are two major events, so there's going to be something going on this weekend in the Canisteo Valley, and that, I think, is an absolutely wonderful idea. Okay, now, as you heard on Brian's news there, the 208th session of the New York State Police Academy's Basic School graduated, how many? 228 graduates. And now, Brian has mentioned these names, but I thought I mentioned them too. The recent graduates: Mitchell Porter of Hornell, Joshua Spoth of Arkport, Lauren Wyant of Jasper, and this isn't exactly local, but it's close. It's in Horseheads. Tamaris Bell of Horseheads. So there are 4 people who have gone through the State Police Academy's Basic School. And what O'Mara said, the State Senator Tom O'Mara, what a well-earned tribute to the hard work and commitment of our New York State troopers, and what a source of enormous pride for their family, friends, neighbors, and the Southern Tier and Finger Lakes regions. They and all of their fellow graduates will serve all New Yorkers as proud members of the New York State Police, which is revered and respected as one of the world's finest law enforcement agencies. Their graduation is a tribute to their courage and willingness to sacrifice to protect the safety and well-being of others, the truest hallmarks of a New York State trooper. So we have 4 brand new graduates in our area. And what else? This is kind of interesting. When was it? When did I mention this? I think it was on Good Friday. Yeah, it was. It was on this past a Good Friday, talking about how religion and God are under attack in many, many quarters. And one of the stories I mentioned was there's a 40-foot tall, it's made of granite, a 40-foot tall World War I memorial cross on public land. Where is this? In the D.C. area. And where, oh boy, who filed this? The case began as a lawsuit by 3 people who live near the cross and the District of Columbia-based American Humanist Association, which includes atheists and agnostics. They argued that the memorial, the World War I cross, should be moved to private property or modified into a non-religious monument such as a slab or obelisk. And the U.S. Supreme Court has ruled that the cross can continue to stand on public land. But I thought that was a very, very good thing. Justice Samuel Alito wrote in a majority opinion for himself and 4 of his colleagues that when time's passage imbues a religiously expressive monument, symbol, or practice with this kind of familiarly and historical significance, removing it may no longer appear to be neutral. So I thought that was very good, so that cross can continue to stand. And I'm sure that the World War I soldiers who are buried there would be very appreciative of that. What else here? Let me, man, I got a bunch, I have so much stuff this morning. I can't, it's like a mishmash of all kinds of stuff. Okay, global warming. That's right, that's always good. This was from NBC News. Written by Jacqueline Jeffrey Walensky. And the headline is, Climate Scientists Drive Stake Through the Heart of Skeptics' Argument. Drive a stake through the heart of skeptics' argument. Wow, that's a little harsh, isn't it? Whoa, a little violent, really. Let me see. She writes that global warming skeptics sometimes say rising temperatures are just another naturally occurring shift in Earth's climate, like the medieval warm period of the years 800 to 1200, or the Little Ice Age, a period of cooling that spanned from roughly 1300 to 1850. But a pair of studies published Wednesday provides stark evidence that the rise in global temperature over the past 150 years has been far more rapid and widespread than any warming period in the past, get this, 2,000 years. A finding that undercuts claims that today's global warming isn't necessarily the result of human activity. Wow. So the Earth has been warming over the past 150 years far more rapidly than it has in the past 2,000 years. 2,000 years. Oh, wowee. That's pretty serious. 2,000 years. The Earth is approximately 4.5 billion years old. 4.5 billion years. So it's warming more rapidly now than it has in the past 2,000 years. So let me see. 4.5 billion minus 2,000 leaves, let me see, 4,499,998,000 years unaccounted for. At least that's how we figure. I think my math is right. Yeah. So they have measured back to 2,000 years, completely overlooking the remaining years there. 4,499,998,000 years totally unaccounted for. So I don't know about that. So that drives a stake right through the heart, That's pretty serious stuff. Let me see. Jennifer Hertzberg, a paleoclimatologist at Old Dominion University in Norfolk, Virginia, who wasn't involved in the research, called the study very important and praised its use of multiple statistical methods to reconstruct temperature change over time. She urged the public to take the results to heart. She said, "The global temperatures that we're seeing now are higher than they have been in the last 2,000 years. Whoa! And what we're seeing now is uncharted territory. It's time for everybody to wake up and make changes now." And then you think now there were a bunch of stories this week on these two. There were two studies made, and you know the bottom line of all this global warming, and we got to do that, and we got to do this, and we got to do something else, and this and that, and this and that. You know what the bottom line is? What are these climate hysteria-driven people? What are they really against? What's the bottom line here? Capitalism. Because if you follow their line of reasoning for anything they're complaining about or getting all wadded up about, what's the bottom line? It's capitalism. That's what they're really against. Because all the things that drive capitalism, all the things that make the world's economy go, are based on capitalism or capitalist ideas. It's amazing. That's what they're really against. And I think that's really what's going on. Anyway, here's another one from USA Today by Doyle Rice. And let me see here. Same thing. We're in uncharted territory. He says, a new study says the warming we've seen in the past 100 years is unprecedented when compared with the past 2,000 years. Yes, sir. And he says basically what this lady said. Let me see. The warming of the climate system that we've seen in the past 100 years is fundamentally different than what we've seen in the prior 1,900 years. And that's co-author of a study, what's his name? Nathan Steiger. He's a climate scientist at Columbia University. Climate epochs of the past 2,000 years, which have been popularized with names such as the Little Ice Age and the Medieval Warm Period, were only regional or continental scale phenomena. These cold and warm decades can be explained by natural climate variability. But it's only since humans have been burning fossil fuels that the entire Earth has warmed at the same time. So once again, it's our fault. Okay, fossil fuels. All right, let me see. What's the alternative? What would a good alternative be to fossil fuels? I don't know.
Meteorologist Rob Carolyn.
Well, he would know. And Rob,
know.
Now, Brian was telling me earlier that apparently you're president of the Bill de Blasio fan club.
I certainly am. Yeah.
Wow.
I like the fact that New York City police officers now get showers when they try to arrest people.
Oh, wow. What a story that is.
Oh, it's sad.
That's really disgusting.
No respect for anybody. It is disgusting. It was interesting listening to you talk about climate change and being a meteorologist. A lot of us in this field are kind of skeptical on climate change. I actually feel they're focusing on the wrong thing. What they really should be focusing on what's happening to the ocean as opposed to what's happening to air temperatures. Have you ever flown to Florida in February from the southern tier?
Do we?
Have you ever flown to Florida?
No.
No, you've never flown to Florida?
No.
Okay. Well, I was going to say people travel in the wintertime from the northeast of Florida all the time, and the temperature change they experience is about 40 degrees over the course of 3 hours, yet they don't burst spontaneously into flame. So what that means is we can handle some pretty big changes in temperatures in very short periods of time. It's not going to be the change in temperature that kills anybody. What's going to end up killing people is the fact that when you put carbon dioxide into the ocean, you create carbonic acid. And we are rapidly changing the pH of the oceans. And no one is talking about this, Jonathan, and everybody should be, because what's happening is we're going to make an environment for the fish that they're not going to be able to survive in. They are not going to be able to adapt to a more acidic ocean in the time frame that it's taking place. And 2/3 of the world population get their protein every day from the ocean. So changes in temperatures, they're not going to kill you, but starvation will. And that's what no one is focused on. They're not talking about why we need to cut back on carbon dioxide. It's not so much what it's going to do to the temperatures, it's what it's doing to the oceans.
So then how would you solve it, Rob?
Well, what I would do is I would use common sense approach rather than Chicken Little. I mean, everybody's screaming the sky is falling, and if we get cold like we're going to get in a couple of weeks across the Northeast in mid-August, everybody's going to go climate change my butt, because it's what you experience. It's not what the world experiences. It's what you experience in your backyard. I would continue going solar and wind power. It makes sense because the sun is always there. It doesn't pollute. I mean, building the materials, when you build solar panels, you're using some fossil fuels to do it, but as you become you get develop more and more of solar power, then you'll be using less fossil fuel. Wind, geothermal, oceans, there's lots of studies being done on using tidal power to more or less create electricity. You continue to do that.
It's called a piezoelectricity or something? Is that what it is?
Well, it's tidal. What happens is, when you have wind energy, you can generate so much wind, but water has 10 times the mass of wind. So water is much more efficient, and if you can capture the tidal cycle and generate electricity from it, it occurs twice a day. So you've got a steady, always occurring change in the tides, and if you can take advantage of that, it makes sense. It would make sense to continue to work towards using less fossil fuels. Now, you're probably going to need fossil fuels in the background to some degree, Jonathan. We had a case 2 winters ago where it got exceptionally cold in Texas. Most of Texas heats their homes with electricity. Well, they didn't, they've invested greatly in wind power and decreased their fossil fuel generating capability. That night it was so cold, the wind's not blowing, so they're not generating electricity. They had to buy the electricity on the spot market at increased prices to keep their homes that night. So people have to pay attention. There's a lot of different ways to go about this, but rather than scream it's the end of the world and you've got 2 months to change things, that's not how this is going to be done. Use common sense, explain to people in a common sense way, I think like I just did, why it needs to be done, and then phase in these other things, make them more available, and phase out the ones that are causing the problems.
Oh, well, I hope we don't have any problem with the weather this weekend, because we have 2 major events going on in the Canisteo Valley. What's it looking like?
Well, it's looking pretty good, actually. The only potential event issue could be an isolated shower or thunderstorm in the afternoon on Saturday and Sunday, and it's just run-of-the-mill stuff. It's late July. We're warm. The atmosphere is going to be a little unstable, so that could pop up late in the day tomorrow or again Sunday, but that's about it. I mean, we're partly to mostly sunny out there this morning. There could be an isolated storm later today. We're 80 to 85. Sunrise was at 5:57 this morning. It sets tonight at 8:36. We're clear tonight, 60 to 65. Tomorrow, partial sun. Watch for a pop-up storm during the afternoon. Not everybody gets it, 85. Sunday looks partly sunny with the risk of an afternoon storm, and we're 80 to 85 on Sunday.
Super duper. Thanks, Rob. See you next week.
You got it.
Okay, bye.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Eddie Garcia.
In Major League Baseball games of note, the Red Sox rout the Yankees 19-3. Boston scored 7 times in the very first inning en route to the easy win. Those 19 runs scored by the Red Sox were the most ever in their history, going up against their rivals, the Yankees. They played each other for 117 years. New York starting pitcher Masahiro Tanaka went 3 1/3 innings. He allowed 12 runs, the most ever allowed by a Yankees pitcher against the Red Sox. Twins beat the White Sox 10-3. Minnesota's Nelson Cruz hit 3 home runs in the win. The Indians down the Royals 5-4. It went 14 innings. Minnesota still with a 2-game lead on Cleveland atop the AL Central. Cardinals beat the Pirates 6-3 to sweep the 4-game series from Pittsburgh. St. Louis is now tied with the Chicago Cubs for first place in the NL Central. Cubs had the night off. 16 innings in Anaheim before the Orioles beat the Angels 10-8. Baltimore infielder Steve Wilkerson closed out the game on the mound, recorded a 1-2-3 inning. He's the first position player in Major League history to record a save.
Okay, insurance. Everybody needs insurance. You need it, I need it, Brian needs it, landlords need it, homeowners need it, vehicle owners need it. Insurance is very important, and you can do no better than the Ryan agencies with offices in Hornell and Jasper and Wellsville. And they're local, they're independent, they do the insurance shopping for you. It's like having your own personal insurance shopper. What could be better than that? And I cannot think of anything ever. They are insurance experts. They offer sound and unbiased advice. They're friendly. They're local. They are the Ryan agencies. And here we are. Okay, All right, that's fine. Let me see. There's this is from USA Today. There's an online petition to change the day of Halloween. It has 63,000 signatures and counting. And this was posted this morning. A change.org petition to change the date of Halloween is gaining traction and closing in on its goal of 75,000 signatures, at which point it'll be sent to President Donald Trump. The petition started last year by the, get this, Halloween and Costume Association. I didn't know that there was such a thing, but there is. Halloween and Costume Association has more than 63,000 signatures as of yesterday or last night. And the trade association is designed to promote and build the celebration of Halloween in the United States, according to its website. Let's see. It's time for a safer, longer, stress-free celebration, the organization wrote. Let's move Halloween to the last Saturday of October. Halloween, traditionally celebrated on October 31st each year, falls on a Thursday this year. If the holiday were to take place on the month's final Saturday this year, it would be October 26th. And they have some pretty good reasons for it. Actually, it's kind of a little strange, but, let me see. Most of the reasons listed on the Halloween and Costume Association's petition for the change focus on child safety. The petition cites a few issues like parents not accompanying children who are out trick-or-treating and kids not carrying flashlights. And according to the Safe Kids Worldwide, that's a nonprofit organization dedicated to the safety of families and children, twice as many children are killed while walking on Halloween than on any other day of the year. So it might not be a bad idea. I don't know. Normally, it's been on, October the 31st for a gazillion years. So they want to change it to the last Saturday of October. That's not a bad idea. I think it's a very good idea. And also a little bit more time here. What do we have? Okay. Cops in, where was this? In the English town of Herefordshire were terrified on Tuesday when they saw a car with machine guns. Actually, it's Gatling guns. 2 Gatling guns on the hood, metal window guards, and armor. It was at a rest stop. So they stopped and asked this guy exactly what he thought he was doing. And apparently he's a fan of the film Mad Max, great film. So he built this car to look like a Mad Max type affair. You can't, yeah, right. You don't want to rattle your neighbors, right? So be very, very low key. Have an armored car with Gatling guns on the hood. That should just calm everybody right down. Okay, fine. I guess that's it. And I will see you Monday at 8:05. Bye.